Bloodborne is hard, relentless, has a rich lore, and is gorgeous with fantastic visuals. But it's Bloodborne's bosses and the challenge that they provide which raises the bar.
So here on Gavinchi TV we're going to count down the top 10 Bloodborne bosses. This is from the Game of the Year edition and it's complete with the Old Hunters DLC. Be warned, there are spoilers ahead, and this is my first time at doing anything like this, so I hope you enjoy.
Right, on the run up to this boss you go up the stairs and you bump into Queen Yarnim, and I've got to get someone off my chest. I may have accidentally chopped her in half. Look, it's one of those things that maybe I should have fought first and acted later, but look, everything in this game attacks you. I just went in there thinking, hang on, I don't trust this, and yeah, then that's that. Let's get to the boss.
So anyway, our 10th entry is Mogo's Wet Nurse.
With an opening scene of a baby crying in a buggy to witness this creature come down and devour it from above. She's weird, scary, she's also very phantom-like, and when she brings forward those huge blades, you know full well she's not going to play fair. At first with this boss my initial thought is to stay clear, keep your distance and see what happens. But no, this boss, she isn't having none of it. To do any form of damage, she makes you come to her. Up close, she's quick and dangerous. As you slowly start to get the hang of it and knock some of her health down, she has the cheek to turn the lights out, coming at you from all sorts of angles, and if you're not careful, you'll soon find yourself completely overwhelmed.
Oh, and the lullaby and the atmosphere it created. Ho ho ho! We love it.
Overall, the atmosphere felt, the battle tactics provided by the boss, and her surprises, along with the creepy lullaby, we're going to give this boss the number 10 spot. Our next entry is Mikkel Ash, host of the Nightmare. I understand the principle that he wears the Mensis cage on his head to contact the Great Ones, and as a result it eventually drove him insane, but let's be honest.
I mean, the guy's wearing a cage on his head for Pete's sake.
So this battle starts different to any other battle in the game, with Mikkel Ash actually running away. You have to chase him constantly with his skeleton puppets in your way. Initially I thought the objective was to take out as many of these puppets as you could, but overall you find out it doesn't actually achieve anything. The goal is to eventually catch up with Mikkel Ash. Eventually when you catch up to Mikkel Ash you get the odd hit in here and there, but it's fascinating just listening to him mumbling to himself, and his groaning is hilarious.
I mean, just listen to it. It's hilarious.
The main battle with Mikkel Ash primarily comes down to a battle in 2 rooms, and the second room being the more difficult of the 2. He is much more aggressive here. He will punch you, fire his tentacle at you, he dodges a lot, and he uses a move called the Cool Beyond which fires an array of arcane missiles. The trick is to attack him as quickly as possible so he doesn't have a chance to get the move in. This boss is a fine example which shows you sizes and everything. The way he makes you chase him around the area to a definitive battle in 2 rooms. His array of attacks and the strategy needed to beat him puts him in the 9th spot.
This next boss is hard, and I died a lot, so I had my good old friend Mensis Scholar Damien with me, because I weren't doing it on my own.
There he is, let me summon my buddy Damien, and yeah, let's get to it. Right, if I could describe this thing in so many words, it would be, and then I would, and I hate this, and oh, if I could, yeah, it's a pretty hard boss, yeah, yeah, it's, did I emphasise it's hard? Yeah, this boss is hard.
This boss is hard. Well, it was for me anyway.
This is Abritus, daughter of the Cosmos. She attacks fast, her attacks are wide, and believe me, she attacks hard. I found the best strategy is to run, dodge, roll, keep out of her way as much as possible, and when there's an opening, attack, but believe me, do not get greedy. Abritus also fires arcane missiles, though if timed correctly, it can be avoided. For me, Abritus was the first boss that really gave me that sense of dread, where I honestly didn't think I was going to progress any further, and for that she gets the 8th spot.
This boss is optional.
So I watched the trailers, previews and reviews for Bloodborne even before I started the game, and in almost all of them they show this white wolf boss creature. So from the moment I started Bloodborne I was eagerly awaiting the anticipated encounter.
So I was actually excited to the point where I was almost rushing through the game just trying to find her.
Maybe if I kill this guy then she'll appear.
No.
Or maybe I kill this guy who's been shooting me from atop his tower. God, I hate this guy.
No.
Or maybe she's somewhere down this nice, pleasant, quiet street. Oh, scare the life out of me.
No.
I then come across this woman in the cathedral, and what do you know? She's just casually one of these women who transforms into big, monstrous, vulgar, white wolf beasts. You would have never guessed.
There she is.
And here we have Vicar Amelia. This boss is big, powerful, and if you run in carelessly she will do some serious damage. She will surprise you as well, as just when you think you've got the upper hand it can all change just like that. And whatever you do, do not underestimate her. For me, Vicar Amelia is an absolute badass, and the anticipation was 100% worth it. So for that, she gets the 7th spot. So I come across a big open archway and an empty area behind. A big area, may I add.
Don't you try and fool me, Bloodborne. We all know there's a boss in there.
Oh, and what's this conveniently placed just before? Defector Antle has personally requested to join me in battle.
Let me see here. Defector Antle wields a church pick, flame sprayer, and wears a Yahar Ghoul set. Well, why didn't you say?
Well, of course you can join me, Defector Antle, thank you very much. Right, let's go see what's up ahead. I'm sure it's nothing to worry about. And up ahead we have the maidens standing above, watching down, ringing their bells, as we watch the blood moon just engulfed in this black. As a creature falls out, hitting the floor, and the first thing you notice is its huge scale in comparison to your own.
He's pretty big.
And here we have the one Reborn. He is the most vulgar, disgusting and grotesque creature I've seen in Bloodborne, and his size is immense. And I'd go as far as to say the biggest boss in Bloodborne. This boss would throw tantrums, make horrible noises, all whilst trying to attack it, avoiding the fireballs off the maidens.
I guess I could have gone and taken out the maidens first before going head to head with the boss. That might have made my life a little easier.
With this boss's sheer scale, repulsiveness, and the constant attacks from maidens around it, it's earned itself the 6th spot.
This has to be one of the longest video game walks I've ever had to make.
Volta, are you ready? Are you ready to wake the beast? Let's just take this slow and steady, and I'm sure we'll have nothing to worry about. We might get lucky and he could be in a really deep sleep and not even notice we're there. Volta, whatever you do, don't make a sound. Volta, look what you've done. You've gone and woken him up. I can't trust you to do anything. And look at him. He doesn't look happy to see us.
With any game, you eventually hit a point where you think, yes, no one can touch me, and then there's always something that pushes you to the edge. This guy does just that.
Here we have Lawrence, the first Vicar. I don't know about other players, but for me, this guy was a nightmare. He's quick, powerful, will deal out some serious blows whilst burning down the place. Though what I did notice after a while is the boss very much reminds me of the Cleric Beast, the first boss in the game, with the strategy you needed, and his attack patterns are very similar. But it's the second phase of the battle where the nightmare really begins and Lawrence will test your resolve.
He decides to get rid of his legs and start throwing pools of lava all over the place. Yeah, great idea.
Oh, and if you weren't hard enough already, you get the 5th spot. Now this next entry, we've actually seen him a few times throughout the course of Bloodborne, hiding on the side of buildings and his hand coming down, crushing the life out of you. So when I actually come head to head with him, I had 2 things on my mind.
Number 1, yes, revenge. Number 2, I'm gonna die.
Here we have Amidala. This boss can hit fast, hard, has huge range, and can hit you with multiple arms. And the key thing is not to get in front of it. Don't keep attacking in the same place for too long and you'll start to get the hang of it. His health was going down fast and I thought, I've got you sussed, mate. So my strategy was working really well. But then he decides to rip his arms off, really turning up his game. So much for that game plan.
At least this boss was fought in the daylight. There's a plus.
With Amidala now even more dangerous, my game plan had changed entirely. It was down to being careful, timing correctly and attack when I could. Overall, with Amidala's size, his attacks literally ripping his arms off in desperation, and the encounters throughout the game leading up to this point, in a challenging battle, we're going to give him the 4th spot. For this next entry, I've summoned a couple of old hunters. That's right, I'm bringing the boys with me because this is one hell of a fight. And yeah, that's right, that mist you see, I have died in there before. But we're not just dealing with any normal boss, we're dealing with an absolute Fruit Loop.
Apparently he's the 4th insane video game character of all time, falling behind Trevor Phillips, the Adoring Fan, and Tingle.
Ludwig was a hunter affiliated with the Healing Church. Under Ludwig's leadership, the Healing Church gained its own corps of hunters, led by himself, the patronage of the Healing Church, though he had his detractors. At some point down the line, Ludwig succumbed to the bloodlust and mutated it into a horrifying beast, a terrible cross between horse, wolf and man. He was trapped in the hunter's nightmare, completely lost himself to the blood.
I guess that explains everything then.
Ludwig was very dangerous and rather agile for a character of his size. But with the old hunters helping me, they provided adequate distraction for me to get some blows in, proving Ludwig not to be too difficult.
Those famous last words.
Once you get his health down to halfway, a movie screen kicks in, and what once was Ludwig the Accursed is now Ludwig the Holy Blade. Ludwig the Holy Blade is now more dangerous, more powerful, much quicker. He's much more relentless overall, as if you were fighting another boss entirely. Because of what Ludwig is, the increased difficulty spike and the variation of the battle, he's going to get the 3rd spot. From the moment the gate opens and you're walking through the flower beds, there's no music whatsoever, and the only thing you can hear is your footsteps in the burning fire. You know there's a big battle about to take place.
I mean, like, you've been waiting for this gate to open the entire game, and it's finally open. Of course something major's going to go down.
And what's your major surprise waiting for the gate to open? Gammon having an old man's nap under a big tree. And he offers you the choice to submit your life and free yourself from the dream. No.
I didn't wait the entire game for the gate to open just for you to turn me into a slug. I'm coming for you.
So with refusing Gammon's offer for death, he's not best impressed with your choice, so he gets up and you've got a battle ahead.
Tonight, Gammon joins the hunt.
So here we have Gammon, the first hunter. In this battle you're going to be doing a lot of running, a lot of rolling, a lot of healing, and occasionally the odd bit of crying, because Gammon, he's good. Midway through the battle, Gammon powers up, and it really comes down to timing and avoiding those fatal blows, attacking bit by bit when you can to eventually hitting him with that final strike. Depending on players' choices throughout the game, Gammon could possibly be your final battle, and if he is, then he is a worthy send-off, and that gives him the second spot.
Come on, I went out my way to get the umbilical cords. What's happening now? No joking about, no fun and games this time. This is our number one. This is the Orphan of Kos.
Orphan of Kos is hands down one of the best boss battles I've ever been in, not just Bloodborne. He is perfect. That's from everything down to his vulgar, disgusting intro, to his look, the way he screeches, his sounds, and even the environment you're battling in. The hours and hours of gameplay up to this point, all your skills, everything you learn will be tested, as this boss is the ultimate challenge. I really feel this boss is balanced out well, from the damage he delivers, the kind of attacks he uses, to the time given to get a shot in. With any boss throughout Bloodborne, if you're careless you will be annihilated, but the Orphan of Kos defines that. As with one wrong move or mistake, you are gone. I admit I died a lot, and if I were to show you the amount of times I died, we'd be here a very long time. It's the way this boss would make you think as well. I couldn't go in my normal sense, I had to change my game plan. I had to get the shield and go in for defense, more of a Dark Souls type of approach to even stand a chance against the Orphan of Kos. And you're doing this alone. The game doesn't give you a choice to summon an old hunter. Like most of the bosses on Bloodborne, they have two phases, and Orphan of Kos is no different, but his second phase is unreal. He hits harder, he's much faster, he starts firing electricity at you, and your attacks have to be precise to even get a decent shot in. As if this boss wasn't hard enough already, and with this difficulty spike, this is unheard of in games. Orphan of Kos easily earns the number one spot, for the level of difficulty, how well balanced he is, and the challenge. And that satisfaction you get, well, if you ever get there and you beat him, you will know what I mean, as one of the best bosses I've ever faced in a video game. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed, please remember to like, subscribe, follow me on Twitter. I'm also on Twitch on occasions. Also, comment below as feedback is most welcome, and check out some of my other videos. Thanks for watching, Gavinchi out. I'll see you next time.